have to admit, I have something very special for this show. I think there's something really unique about Versailles. I think it's the acting. I think it's the take on Louis XIV. But the acting is absolutely, in my opinion, remarkable. I really love the dynamic between Louis XIV and Monsieur, his brother Philippe, Duke of Orleans. And so here I'm doing an overview of the show. But if you would like me to do season by season, like I did for the Tudors, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to do so. This is a History Police video, and do not forget to like it and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Let's dive in. We are going to start with the trailer, because I think in the trailer we really have an important glimpse of what it was like. Because I think the trailer really gives like a window to the past and the court of Louis XIV, the Sun King.
Once upon a time, there was a great and glorious king.
I had a vision.
So we start right away. A great and glorious king. I had a vision. Let's not forget that the show is about Louis XIV with a strong take on Versailles. It's almost as if Versailles is the most important thing that Louis XIV had ever done. And I think that's quite an interesting question and an interesting take.
They will write stories about this place, but I fear those that hear it might not believe it.
We have here, you know, the decadence, we have the fear, we have a mystery around the court of Versailles.
I am about to drag this country out of the darkness and into the light.
The building of Versailles must be stopped.
He sees Versailles and nothing else. He's forgotten who built this country.
You think it's hard to be a king? Try being a king's brother for a day.
I love that line. If you think it's hard to be a king, try to be the king's brother for a day. I love that in this show, though the main star is probably Versailles, you know, le Château de Versailles. It's also Louis XIV, but it really also is Philip, Duke of Orleans. It really is Monsieur. And I love it because he takes such a back seat in his brother's reign, but at the same time, he's such an important political, diplomatic, military figure in his brother's reign that I love that in this show they tried to put him back into the light.
Use their swords, we use our beauty.
Take it off.
We obviously have moments about, you know, scandals and conspiracies, and try to show that the reign of Louis XIV was far from being linear, was far from being smooth. And I really like this in this trailer because it really takes you into the action. It is really well done. Another thing that I really like that they've done in this show is that they created, you know, fictional characters to support the storyline they wanted to create and to make sure that they were not too worried about being historically inaccurate. Again, it's a TV show that is going to have sometimes massive historical inaccuracies. At the same time, it does what a good historical TV show or movie should do. It brings you back to the past, trying to understand the lives of these people, and that is well done. I have selected a few scenes to show you what I like about this show, the little intimacy, but also the fact that they really focus on the human aspects of these two characters. And I'm mostly focusing here on Louis XIV and his brother Philip. But obviously I'm also going to discuss Madame de Montespan and the Queen, Maria Theresa of Spain, who's Queen of France, and who had to deal with the problem of royal mistresses. There are good books that discuss royal mistresses. I am very much myself interested in royal mistresses because I believe that they're shadow queens. And that could not be more true, especially when you look at Louis XIV and his mistress and his court. But let's dive in now with one of the scenes that I really like about Louis XIV and his brother. The king has disappeared, so here they're looking for him, and he's found in the woods by his brother. And the scene here, I just love the script, I love the dialogues, between the two brothers. I love this scene because it's so complex. You can see that, you know, there's lots of tension between the two brothers. I think Philip doesn't always understand Louis. Louis is kind of extravagant. He has a huge ego. And I think Philip is a bit like, oh my God, you're so spoiled. You always want to do what you want to do. And he doesn't really like that. At the same time, that last line, do you have my back? Where am I now? I love this. I love this complexity behind the relationship. It's not always going to be good throughout the series, but you can see that there's a very strong bond. And I think the strong bond was created by the fact that the way they grew up together, what they went through when they were young with the rebellion, La Fronde, during their father's reign, the way they were raised by their mother. And here we really have this strong bond between the two brothers. And in this scene, I think it is really, really well done. It gives me the goosebumps, you know, and I love also the vision of Louis XIV, because he really was like that. He was really drawn for grandeur, for greatness, and it's what he really wanted to achieve. There is this scene as well that is quite moving between the two brothers, because, you know, Philip doesn't always feel like he's really appreciated by his brother, by Louis. And he talks about this idea of, you know, a memory of their childhood, and he's like, you probably don't remember. And it follows the death of Henrietta Anne, who is their cousin, but the first wife of Philip. And she's the daughter of Enrica Maria and Charles I of England. And then you see that there is again something very touching, because it means that Louis XIV never forgot his relationship, never forgot his closeness to his brother, never forgot the important memories of their childhood. And I find just this scene very, very touching.
We shall stay here. It's perfectly lovely. Just you and I. And we shall throw a party for all our friends.
All our friends are over there. The center of the world.
Trust me, the world is really nothing special.
As I said, the relationship between the two brothers have not always been good. And in this show, they're very good at portraying this. So here there was a big clash, and it's actually in season 2. Philip is basically banned from Versailles, and he's with Chevalier, his favorite. They had a relationship. It is a love story. And I love the portrayal of Chevalier. I think he's absolutely amazing in this show. And here I just love, like, we'll throw a party and, you know, we'll bring Versailles, and we don't really need all these people, and we don't. And I love the kind of relationship, and I love the jokes. I love the way they made this character. And some people can say, well, it's very far from being historically accurate. Well, we will never really know, because all these scenes are so private that I think sometimes, you know, there's a big difference with how you're going to be yourself in public, how you're going to be yourself at court, how you're going to write your letters, and how you're going to behave with your very close ones, with your loved ones, with the people who know you best. And it's exactly what's happening here, and I really love that scene for that. I think it's brilliantly done. I will finish this review on a scene that I really like about the Queen who tried to confront Madame de Montespan. So Madame de Montespan is Louis XIV's favorite at the time, and she's going to have a very tragic story herself. But here it's very like the clash of the two women trying to fight not just for Louis XIV, you know, kind of favors, but mostly for power. Who's more important is why I like this idea of royal mistresses as shadow queens, because when you really think about it, and when you see that scene, it's quite obvious that Madame de Montespan doesn't really respect the Queen like she should. And they're talking about her debts, and she doesn't really have any debts because the king paying everything for her. So she's a bit like, you know, defiant. And I really think that here we have a scene that, though we'll never know if it really happened, we can actually imagine that it happened, because it does make sense for a royal favorite being so favored and loved by the king to act the way she was acting. She was extremely arrogant. She was extremely disrespectful to the Queen of France. And you can see that Queen of France has just so much power that her power is completely overtaken, overlooked, overshadowed by the kings. And it is even more true for Maria Theresa and Louis XIV. So here I just like that scene for that kind of, you know, kind of tension, but also kind of reality. I don't know if it's really historically accurate. Did it really happen? I don't know. But what I know is that I can believe that it happened. And I like those shows that take some risks sometimes about historical accuracy, to take a take and to have an intuition and to make these people who are living, you know, 400, 300, 200 years ago, even longer, and try to really get into their psychology, try to get into the problems they might have had, you know, the personal problems. I like the human touch, and I think I will finish this video, this History Police video for you on that. I think a good historical TV show really does that. It shows you the human side of these historical figures. The historical TV shows, historical movies are like windows and doors to the past. It should make you want to know more and grab books by historians, experienced historians who have worked and spent decades of their lives on that. But these shows are here to give you like of a taster, a glimpse, and make you want to know more. And I think Versailles does it really well. Let me know again, please, down below in the comments, if you would like me to do season by season and really get into, you know, the story of the TV show, but also the story of Louis XIV and his court. I'll be more than happy to do so. But I want to do videos that really make sense for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to have a look at my membership and the perks I offer for you members. And I'll see you next time. Bye!